Your inner child is your most creative self. Your younger self, your inner child, has access to all of the creativity, the motivation, the inspiration, the intuition. Your most authentic expression is in your youngest self and your inner child. So when we talk about inner child work, I like to distinguish your youngest self as that most creative self who wants to play, wants to explore, and is able to create these like really amazing ideas, right? And why this is because that's our pre-verbal self. It's connected to our intuition. It doesn't have access to the more analytical part of our brain. It develops before language. It's really, if you think about like gut instinct, that part of our brain is connected, it's connected to our most primal brain. So your younger self, we want to really protect that younger sense of exploration, of creativity, but also your younger self is really that fear that comes up when you want to share, or fear of doing it wrong, trying to perform, trying to fit in, having too many options and trying to decide, and kind of that fear in your body feeling of sharing or executing, doing it wrong. That is also your younger self, right? Being afraid that it's not going to do it right or won't be loved if it creates in a certain way. So I like to tell my clients that your adult self is actually the parent self, is the more logical self. So your adult self does have access to your more analytical prefrontal cortex. So when we start to reparent as creatives, our adult self can create boundaries and can assure this younger self so that it's free to explore, to be as free and creative as it wants to be, right? So this can look like your adult parent self creating boundaries, like putting time on the schedule for your younger self, your inner child, to play and create so that they can be free and explore. Just think about how that would feel if your adult self could create structure in your calendar, and then your younger self could just be free to play and explore and create. This can look like creating a collection, right? Saying we're going to, with your logical, analytical brain, we're going to create this many pieces, or we're going to only use this material, so that there's some boundaries, right? Kids need boundaries so that then your younger self can come in and be wild and explore and really express themselves. What we don't want is for that younger self to feel like they need to do the adult things, right? So we don't want the younger self to be like, well, I need to create boundaries for myself. I need to figure all this stuff out myself. I mean, can you feel how stressed out that feels for your younger self, who really creates from that instinct, but also has that fear involved in their body? So your adult self can create this safe space, and then the younger self can come in and have a lot of freedom. We want the younger self to have as much freedom as possible, right? And we don't want it to have, like we do in our normal life, a lot of times our younger self will try to be the adult. And so what this can look like for you is when you start to feel anxious, like I'm not creating enough, I'm not doing enough, right? Think about how that feels in your body, and think about, is that your younger self trying to do more so that it will be enough for the adults in their life so that they'll finally be loved. So what you can do when you start feeling that, or anxiety that comes up, am I doing it right? Or fear that comes up, of sharing, just, you can put your hand on your heart. You can listen to that younger self and what they are saying. And then you can assure them that as a parent, as your adult self, as the logical self, you are going to do those adult things. You are going to figure out when to share your work, how it feels safe to share your work. You are going to figure out the best plan for sharing your work. You are going to figure out, with help from your younger self if they want to. Because the adult self, the analytical self, still needs that really creative input from your younger self. So you're a team, right? But just letting them know, letting your younger self who has those fears know that it's okay to be a kid. It's okay to their job is just to play. It's just to explore, just to express. And we need them so much, right? And so you as the adult self are going to take care of the details, and they don't need to. It's relief. So see how that feels in your body. That relief. Oh, I just get to play when it's time to play, right? So I hope this helps kind of explain inner child work, how I work with inner child, with adult parts of us, in sessions with my clients, and how you can do it, how it kind of helps distinguish what's going on there when you feel those kind of fears pop up. All right, have a great week, and I will talk to you later.